It's something straight out of Hollywood. A thief is on the run with over $1 million in Las Vegas casino chips.
In Las Vegas, riches can be won or lost through gambling, but some can turn to violence to overcome the odds. A group of nasty thugs attacks multiple casinos, stealing thousands of dollars and leaving a trail of bloodshed in their wake. The FBI and the police work together to find and capture the lethal gunman, who will do whatever to evade detection. The story of the audacious armed robbery of a Las Vegas casino seems like something from a Hollywood film, but this was not one of them. Welcome to True Crime. Let's get started. MGM Grand Hotel. It is just before noon on September 20th, 1998, in Las Vegas, Nevada, at the MGM Grand Hotel. The casino's earnings are moved by two armed couriers under the supervision of an MGM security guard in the way of an exit where an armored truck is waiting. Here, things went wrong. Some men stole the courier's pistols and 3 money packets worth over $350,000 and departed by a side exit. The guards contact the Las Vegas police and FBI. When detectives and agents arrived at the casino, they interviewed the guards, who provided them with a general description of their attackers. However, the MGM features an extensive network of surveillance cameras, just like every other casino in Las Vegas. The criminals fled across the street toward a neighboring hotel, according to footage that the hotel's outside cameras captured, which was also shown to the agents. Agents visited the San Remo Hotel to examine security footage taken by its outside cameras. They saw the thieves enter a pickup truck that was being driven by a third man. However, the video is unable to offer a strong detail. Findings. Even only having some small details, police start looking for the getaway truck. However, they were unable to locate it immediately. In San Remo, over 2 months later, ongoing search operations resulted in a breakthrough in the case. A Las Vegas Metro police detective finds what seems to be the getaway truck in the casino parking lot. When the vehicle's identifying number is checked, the detective finds that it was reported stolen nearly 3 weeks before the MGM robbery. Checking the license plate, investigators discovered it was taken from a disabled vehicle that was stored in a Las Vegas storage area. However, the facility manager informed the Las Vegas Metro police detective that he had no knowledge of the incident. After several months, the investigation's leave of absence is up. Desert Inn Casino. On June 28, 1999, 9 months after the MGM theft, an armored van was collecting cash at the Desert Inn Casino. However, at this moment, the guards faced off with 2 gunmen. The guard inside the van is hit in the arm. Although his partner fires back, the guard on the ground makes his way to the armored vehicle for protection. The driver of the van went to a hospital nearby. Both guards survived the gunman's attack. The FBI and Las Vegas police arrived just in a matter of minutes. An employee of the casino reports to authorities that she saw the gunman leaving the location in a light-colored SUV. Richard Beasley, a special agent with the FBI, examines the scene. The gunmen who carried out this attack, according to the police, were not the same ones who held up the MGM. Investigators know that if a criminal's method had previously worked, it was rare for them to alter it. Agent Beasley receives a call 10 minutes after arriving on the site stating that the getaway car has been located. It was discovered in a tiny motel's parking lot. Within the car, investigators also discover an empty water bottle. It is kept in the hopes that DNA evidence may be extracted from it. Agents question a man nearby who claims to have seen the men drive the SUV. Agents found a neighboring truck that was the same make and model. They had to hotwire the other car since they had jumped into it. After verifying the vehicle identifying number on the pickup, the FBI learns that an ex-con named Pedro Duarte is the owner of it. Pedro Duarte. Fingerprints are discovered on the upper license plate by the crime scene investigator. After running the prints, investigators determine that Duarte is the person who owns them. This suggests that Duarte rubber-banded the stolen plate to his own pickup. Also, the witness agreed to give the police artist a description of the 3 guys he saw at the request of FBI officials. These sketches are supposed to help investigators identify suspects. Investigators visited Pedro Duarte's home the following day to question him about his truck. Duarte maintains that his truck was stolen when questioned about it. It was reported stolen, according to police records. However, that happened a few hours after the Desert Inn robbery attempt. After experiencing personal issues with his wife, he went down to the Strip for a walk. After parking, he walked up and down the Strip before he had fallen asleep on a bench. Duarte said his truck was gone when he woke up. However, Duarte suddenly claims he cannot speak English. Even though the Metro sergeant was speaking to him in Spanish, he continued by saying that he was unable to understand. It was extremely bothersome. Investigators believe Duarte has been linked to the case, but are restricted by a lack of clear evidence against him. So, they weren't confident enough to arrest him at the time. Wishing for effective identification of Duarte, agents presented a photo lineup to the only witness who had seen the faces of the Desert Inn robbers. Furthermore, the witness did not select him from a lineup of photos. In an effort to gather any incriminating evidence against their suspect, investigators set up surveillance on Duarte. However, after several weeks of observation, they found nothing. Mandalay Bay Casino. Two armed couriers took $8,800 and brought it to their armored truck on October 11, 1999, at the Mandalay Bay Casino, 4 months following the failed heist at the Desert Inn. Yes, it was a year after the MGM Grand Casino robbery, making about $350,000. A year later, couriers collecting money at the Mandalay Bay Casino were now being attacked. After swiftly disarming them, the thieves made off with $88,000 in cash. Agents from the FBI's Las Vegas field office looked through the robbery's security footage. Special Agent Brett Shield believes that this heist was also carried out by the guys who stole from the MGM. When they watched how this crime had occurred in Mandalay Bay, they noticed many similarities to the robbery of MGM. Jose Vigoa's brother-in-law is Duarte. Investigators looked over the case, seeking any hints that may have been overlooked. Jose Vigoa is the facility's guardian, someone the detectives were never able to speak with. However, Agent Shield has a history with him. In 1990, the FBI was investigating Cuban immigrant Jose Vigoa for cocaine trafficking and entered a storage facility with a warrant to inspect his unit. When investigators looked into Vigoa's storage container, they discovered his fingerprints and a scale covered in cocaine residue. Later, he was found guilty of both trafficking in drugs and attacking a federal officer. For his crimes, he was imprisoned for 6 years. Shield remembers that Pedro Duarte was questioned on the recent incidents that occurred in the Desert Inn. Investigators now believe there is a connection between the two casino robberies and the assault in the Desert Inn. Jose Vigoa. They all appear to have been done by the same gang of thieves. Vigoa's probation officer sees surveillance footage of the Mandalay Bay and MGM robberies the following day at the FBI office. She claims that one of the gunmen resembles Vigoa but is unable to come up with a positive identification. Agents were disappointed but undeterred, so they put Vigoa under surveillance. Vigoa lives in the storage facility where he works and makes only $10,000 a year, according to his probation officer. However, agents swiftly discover that Vigoa resides in a middle-class home. After conducting financial background checks, agents discovered that the residence was really bought within days after the MGM robbery. Although Vigoa's financial situation is mysterious, this does not mean that he is guilty. He was not identified by any eyewitness to any of the robberies. Vigoa had a history of dealing drugs. Maybe he was back in the drug trade, which would explain why he had so much cash. As of yet, there was not enough evidence to support a warrant to search Vigoa's residence. Agents continue to watch Vigoa. Community of Henderson. 5 months later, on March 3, 2000, in the nearby community of Henderson, local police and the FBI responded to a report of an assault on an armored vehicle in front of the Ross Dress for Less department store. There were 2 dead guards. They began interviewing folks in the nearby shops and in the parking lot. Witnesses claim that at approximately 11:15 a.m., an armored van pulled up in front of the department store. A guard entered the business to retrieve the deposit, moving between too many vans that were parked there early that morning. The gunman responded when the guard came back carrying the money. After drawing his pistol, the guard shot, injuring one of the gunmen in the knee. However, an assault by another gunman resulted in the guards passing away quite immediately. The 3 males managed to get away in what witnesses described as a sedan. Their total take was just less than $5,000. Agents believe the robbery was carried out by the same group they are now investigating based on the details of the attack. The crime scene technician examined the numerous vans that the criminals utilized, but he was unable to find any information that would lead to the identification of an enemy. However, without any evidence accusing their suspects, they will have to act quickly if they are to apprehend them before they strike again. However, a few hours after the assault, police found the getaway car the robbers left in a parking lot. FBI Special Agent Henry Schlumpf conducted the investigation. When they arrived, they discovered blood on the driver's seat of the car. As stated before, blood is taken by a crime scene technician because it can be used as DNA evidence in the future. After examining the license plates of the getaway vehicle and the vans the assassins left at the scene of the heist, agents discovered that they had all been stolen from a rental car lot. Circumstantial evidence has linked those crimes to ex-cons Jose Vigoa and his brother-in-law, Pedro Duarte. Since there isn't any solid evidence linking the two, the investigation is halted. Bellagio Hotel and Casino. 3 months after the Ross killings, on June 3, 2000, there was an attack on the Bellagio Hotel and Casino. Employees at the casino's main cashier's cage are counting money shortly after 6 a.m. The employees were forced into a corner by the gun force, and they then cleaned out the cash drawers. The thieves steal more than $144,000 in cash. However, the gunmen are not done yet. They want more. They aim for a nearby change booth. They grabbed an extra $10,000. With almost $150,000, the thieves hop into their getaway van and drive off. They don't know that cops are being notified by Bellagio guards and an unmarked van that is pursuing them. But the robbers respond violently when they discover they've been followed. The chase came to a stop when one gunshot hit the tire of the security van. Thankfully, none of the guards experience any injuries. The license plate number and model of the car are given to the police. Agents at the Bellagio security office request that Jose Vigoa's probation officers watch the crime's CCTV footage in the hopes of obtaining a positive identification. He showed her the footage, and she acknowledged that Jose Vigoa had committed the robbery. They managed to get an arrest warrant, but they fear that this cold-blooded murderer will not go down without a struggle. The arrest. Jose Vigoa, an ex-con, has finally been regarded by the FBI as the suspected head of a robbery gang. Agents proceed to arrest Vigoa after obtaining an arrest warrant for him. He was seated in his car while they arrived, and the agents took steps to stop over an automobile in front of it. With speeds exceeding 100 miles per hour, the chase is exceedingly hazardous. Vigoa crashes a tree after losing control of his car after driving some distance. He gets out of the car and runs away. While investigating the car, Agent Shields finds that Vigoa's wife is in the passenger seat. After being placed under arrest, she is later freed after it is established by the investigators. Even Agent Brett Shield discovered Vigoa's daughter in the back seat. SWAT officers finally catch up to Vigoa and take him down. Agents proceed to arrest Vigoa after obtaining an arrest warrant for him. Agents require more evidence to guarantee a conviction. When they enter Vigoa's home with a search warrant in hand, they discover almost $100,000 in cash. However, there is no proof linking him specifically to any of the robberies. FBI Special Agent Richard Beasley moves in on Oscar Cisneros, Vigoa's financial frontman. They need to speak with Cisneros regarding Vigoa's use of assets in his name. Arrest of all other criminals. They informed him that they also wanted to search his house, and Oscar responded that it was okay. He claimed to know nothing about anything and was simply trying to work hard, pay his bills, support his family, and lead a regular life. He was very calm and collected. After an hour of searching without yielding any results, an investigator starts to look for any hidden compartments and uncovers an abundance of proof. The agent needs to know if the items in the closet were used in the robberies. When the agent questioned him about a scar on his knee, he admitted to getting shot at Ross. Oscar's confession led them to conclude that Vigoa was the mastermind. It was he who was in charge of planning everything and choosing which hits to perform. His brother-in-law, Pedro Duarte, had been involved in the robberies until the Desert Inn. Then they brought in Luis Suarez, another person, and he'd been involved in the murdering of Ross too. After he confesses, Pedro Duarte is taken into custody by the authorities for acting as the getaway driver. Investigators move to arrest the final robber, Luis Suarez, but he has fled the state. However, on October 7, 2000, Cisneros hung himself in his cell, weakening the case. When Cisneros dies, his confession dies with him because it is inadmissible in court. The prosecution team uses other techniques to link the other robbers to the crime. Evidence and trial. Police experts test the weapons found at Cisneros' house and match them to bullets and shell casings from the Ross killings to the Desert Inn shooting. Additionally, experts uncovered critical proof against Vigoa. Vigoa's fingerprint was detected on one of the bullets. Vigoa, Duarte, and Suarez are proven to be connected to the crimes by DNA evidence found in the obtained water bottle and ski masks. Also, the blood evidence was found to belong to Cisneros, who is now dead. Agents located the remaining gunman, Luis Suarez, who left Las Vegas and is currently hiding in Florida, while prosecutors are preparing for trial. 5 years after they started their murderous and robbery rampage, in the fall of 2003, Suarez, Duarte, and Vigoa went on trial in Las Vegas. Luis Suarez enters a plea agreement to be sentenced to 6 to 15 years in prison on 1 count of armed robbery. Pedro Duarte takes his chances at trial and is convicted of 2 counts of attempted murder. Among other accusations, he faces a 16 to 70-year sentence. Jose Vigoa enters a guilty plea to 2 counts of first-degree murder and 44 other offenses in order to avoid the death penalty. He has been given a life sentence without the chance of parole. Finally, 3 law enforcement organizations worked together to bring this ruthless gang of thieves to justice. The Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, the FBI, and the Anderson Police Department worked together to solve this case instead of the FBI working alone. Our thoughts and prayers go out to those involved. We hope you enjoyed our true crime overview of the masterful takedown of a Vegas heist gang who almost stole everything.